what do you think are the real keys as we start to manage this current point, not necessarily looking at the return just yet, but manage this current situation that we're currently in? How are we going to adapt?
Yeah, it's really another interesting question, because when you go into that very sort of difficult first period where you're firefighting, the one thing you're doing is sort of generally pulling everything in, really, and pulling everything quite tight, keeping decision making quite tight, in order that you kind of get on top of things quickly. But there's only so long you can sustain that, in my opinion. And having done that for probably the first 2 weeks, where that was, insane hours, huge amounts of pressure, huge amounts of stress that we're all experiencing, particularly in the leadership team, trying to work through these very difficult issues. You've then got to go into this next bit where you begin to devolve things back out again, in my view. And you've talked about for years freedom in a framework, which something that always stuck with me again once that landed. And if people just imagine, I don't know, a three-dimensional box, and let's just say that's a very small box right now, that would probably describe the amount of freedom that, I guess, in the initial part of the crisis that we were allowing to go down through our ranks. But obviously now we're coming into this second part, the contingency part. What we're doing is blowing up that box and providing a lot more distributed decision making, and creating the frameworks that sit around that to sort of go, look, we now need to pass this down. We now need you to do this. And we're sort of beginning to release that organizational capacity again. And I think that it always helps if you identify what the immediate priorities are for the business. So with ourselves, we went, right, we've got 3 priorities. One is people. We just need them to be safe, them to be equipped, and them to be able to keep going in order that the company can keep moving. The second thing was actually then about our supply chains. How do we secure supply chain security, sustainability, in order that the goods can move through to us, and they can go into our market to keep our customers moving? And then finally, communities. How can we support those supporting others in order that the economy can keep moving, and also people that are depending on us? For example, we've got over 100,000 computer printers in GPs and pharmacies across the country. And it's essential that they are kept moving, in order that even if somebody doesn't have COVID-19, but somebody has another medical issue which they need medication for, whether it be blood pressure issues or antidepressants, whatever that might be, those pharmacies still need to be prescribing. And so therefore, wrapping that up into one of our key priorities and making sure that's communicated across the business allows people within my organization to also know what our priorities are at the moment, and therefore how they should be bumping things up on their decision making and the workload or that they're processing at any one time.